Good morning, 10th grade. Hopes this finds you ready for another week. And yeah, by the way, I'm putting this on Friday afternoon, so I have to think Monday, okay? So this is Monday's lesson, even though it's Friday afternoon. So I'm thinking that over the weekend you rested, or this is Friday afternoon, so I hope you rest over the weekend. And be sure to stay at home. I mean, that's a vital important right now. Is don't invite anybody to your house and don't go to anybody's house. Yeah, you don't need to hear that, do you? Today, I am going to do page 59 to 66 in math. Okay, that's a pretty big section. So let me tell you the next 3 days schedule for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday, we're going to finish up to self-test 3. And then Tuesday, we're going to do self-test 3. And then on Wednesday, we'll do test. And of course, Thursday and Friday, we'll start the new book. I wonder if it wouldn't be beneficial if I showed you some answers for self-test 2. Now, sometimes they tell me the answers are foggy and they don't come through clear. If that happens, here's self-test 1. Maybe I ought to give you some answers for self-test 1. You check a few of these. It's the reason I'm giving you this is not so much for a grade, it is to help you to make sure you're doing it correctly. If you get all of these wrong, ooh, you call me up right away. We'll have to do something different. This is self-test 1. And I don't know, is that clear there? Yeah, you can't tell me, can you? I wish you could talk to me. Okay, let me give you there's a few more answers on the second page here. Oh, the shade, the lighting. By the way, do you like my lighting? I've set up new lights here in the front of the schoolroom, and I turn out all the other lights, so hopefully the shine on the board isn't as bad as what it was before. That's self-test 1. Let me find self-test 2 here and give you some answers for that as well. Self-test 2. Here we go. Just one page. Oh no, I'm wrong. 2 pages, a page and a half. Okay, self-test 2. Okay, let me move over. Can you see those answers? I hope you can stop the video. Are they clear or were they clear? Can't tell me, can you? There we go, try that. I bet they're crooked and shaking and shivering. Yeah, can you read that? All right. If you can't check it, that's fine. I hope they come through clear enough. And if not, I could read them off in class. It's just a little bit difficult for you, for me to read off the answers. Today, I'm giving you a lot, okay? I'm giving you a lot of pages. I will quickly go ahead and give a defense here before you go, I will let you skip 3 of each part, and there are 2 parts. There are 2 parts on this section. And so the first part you get to skip 3 of the problems, and on the second part you get to skip 3. So that means 6. Okay, now get this. That's just 6 total. Okay, you get to skip 6 parts of 6 problems. There we go. Not 6 parts. There's only 2 parts. 6 problems. Today you are learning more or less about. Here I go with the alligator mouth. You're learning about inequalities, and so you figure them just like they're equals, except they are like this, or let me see here, be like this, like that. Okay, you have the 2 different symbols, and you should think in your mind when you're figuring, you should think of them as being equal. So just like the equal, but they're inequalities. And also there's another example is when you got like this here, you'll have a line underneath of it, and then you also have, ooh, I can't do that. There we go, pointing that way and a line underneath there. The difference is when you go grafting them, the one is a broken line, This top one here, you make a dotted line, a broken line when you graft it, and the other one, when you graft it, you make a solid line. Okay, and yeah, you can read. You've done this last year, but you can read in your book if you have a question on why the broken or why the solid. It's whether you include that number on or whether you don't. By the way, do you know why you get to skip those 3 problems? That means those 3 problems you'll have to read the instructions 3 times. 3 times. I got this little feeling, and I might be wrong, but I got this little assumption that the 10th grade quickly look at the video and they quickly go do their lesson and never read the instructions. 10th graders, oh, I just can't believe that they would do something like that. But I got this little sneaky feeling. It's just kind of like a little bird whispering in this classroom, and it says, watch those 10th graders. They're not reading the instructions. So you get to skip the 3 problems if you read the instructions 3 times. There we go. You got a clause. You didn't know that was coming. Yeah, first one. I didn't use my graph paper. I drew a graph on the board here. So I've got your green is my graph. And so I actually grafted 3.1 and 3.4 on the same graph. Please excuse me for doing that. You still have to do it in your book though, unless you want to skip that one. You can skip that one if you want to. You will need to solve the equation, or no, solve the inequality. Sorry, they're not equations, they're inequalities. And so you can put different numbers in there. For y is inequality x. For the 3.1, oh, I didn't put it on the board. Oh. Yeah, sorry about that. I should have put that on. I put 2 and 0. Oh, 321. Now wait a minute here. Hang on here. I'm on the wrong page. Hold on. Let me turn back here. I was doing the wrong one here. Back up here to the page. Sorry about that. 30.1 is x equals 2. Or no, x inequality 2. Sorry, I was actually on the next part. Forgot to back up. X equals 2. So that means you come on to graph that, you will find go on your 2 and then 0. I use 0. It's actually a straight line. No, it's a broken line, but it's not on a slope. So you just have one point. It's 2. I grafted it and you shaded this away. This is 3.1. It's blue, the blue shading. I come 1, 2. Made the dotted line because it's just make sure I get the thing going, the point going in the direction it's supposed to, like that. And it does not have the line underneath of it. It does not have that. So that means that your answer, your line should be broken. Let's do 3.4. Oh, you can't see him. This is 3.4. Answer, the pink one. I guess the blue one was Drayton's problem and the pink one is the girl's problem. You have y greater than -2. Okay, so you have the y. You have y, and it is -2. So for the y-axis, you brought it down to -2, and you drew a solid line across. Okay, because you got this here little line underneath here. You drew a solid line, and you shaded everything below that, because the arrow is pointing to your left. Okay, if it points, like the first one would point to your right, or the peak is toward the right, you shaded to the right. In this one here, the peak is toward the left, you shaded down. Matter of fact is, if you read your instructions on page 60, at the top of the page it says, shade the half plane above the line for this direction, I won't tell you, and for below the line for this direction. And I won't tell you which way to go, this way or that way. That's what you have to read the instructions for. Let's move over here, and I'm going to do 3.15. Here we go. And we'll do 3.15. And there, you will need to find your answers for 315. You have x negative 2y equals 0, or is inequality 0. So you can use different solutions. I used, for my solution, I used -4 and -2. You'll have to figure these out, okay? You'll have to sit down and do the equation, work the equation out. And if you're like I am, I wasn't exactly sure if I did them all correct. So you know what I did? I just paged back in the book and checked it out, see if I did it correctly. And I also double checked the answer key, okay? But yes, you may come up with different equations, but the slope of the line should still be the same. So you're doing the slope. I did -4 and -2, and you can put those in that equation and see if they come out. Check me out. So I might have done them wrong. So I went, to start with here, I come down to -4, I went over to -2. So right here was where I put my first dot. And then this one I went 4 and 2. So I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Now you don't have all the lines here that I should have. And so I looked, and it was an arrow pointing this way. So when it's pointing that way, it's broken. I made it broken, and I shaded the top part. That's for answer 315. Okay. Yeah. I think the thing you need to watch is what you shade or don't shade, in up or down, and then you need to also watch whether the line is solid or broken, which is not hard. You just have to take notice of it. Let's move over. Okay, now I'm at 321. This is where I started out a little bit ago and I wasn't even there yet. If I'm going to do 321, and again, I chose 3 different sections. And so, okay, look at my graph here. I've divided it. I've got one answer on top and one answer below. Now, for 321, I'll let you figure that one out. As far as you're solving, you're going to be graphing 2 inequalities on the same graph. And what you're wanting to do here is to find the 2 parts that they overlap. Okay, let's say you make a line like this one, and you shade that part. Then you make a line like this, and you shade this part. And the 2 parts that overlap are actually your answer that you're trying to find. Okay, so it's everything in the 2 shaded parts. So shade lightly the first time, and then shade lightly the second time, and any time where they overlap, that is your answer. And it really works well if you're artistic and you use a colored pencil. It works perfect to shade it one color, and then when you flip it around, shade it a different color, and then you can easily see where the 2 colors overlap, rather than just using your pencil and scribble, 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 scribble. If you do like I did here, it's a little bit tough. All right, if you do 321, the first one is y is inequality x. I love these answers. Y inequality x is, you can start out with, okay, let me give you a hint. It's always the opposite. Okay, so I start out with 0, 0. So I use the black marker is 0, 0. Then I went 3 and 3, so I counted 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, put the dot there. And then I went, then -2, -2. You could have done 5, you could have used 6, 7, it doesn't really matter. So I went 1, 2, 1, 2. And then I drew my line, I had my 3 points. You can get by with 2 points, it's not recommended. Matter of fact, this book don't allow you to do 2. You have to do 3 to make sure you're correct, so that they line up. And now, the next one on 321, the is y is inequality negative x. So there again, I use 0, 0. It don't matter. So that's my starting point, 0, 0. And then I use negative 4 and 4. So what I did, I went 1, let me see, which way to go? Yeah, negative 4. Wait a minute here, I'm doing the wrong one. I went 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe. I guess I grafted that right. Let me look. I'm beginning to question my own work here. I should have checked that, double checked it. 321. I should have come down 4. 2 down 2. Oh, I put there we go. Let me try this around. I put the negative on the wrong one. There we go. I like that better. Now I went over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's my 4, 4. And then I went 1 and 1. So I went over 1, up 1. Now there, I should have done it that way. Negative 1, positive 1. There we go. I'll get it straight after a while. And I shaded this part here. I forgot to tell you which part I shaded on the first part. See if I can find my black one. Which one should I shade on the first part? You look at the arrows. You can see it's the opposite way. So if I shaded the bottom part this time, do I shade the bottom part here? No, I shade the top part. So my answer, let me show you. My answer is actually what they're figuring out is this section right here is actually my answer, because this is a section that's shaded with both. Now it's looking ugly. When you do your shading, be sure to do a better job than what I'm doing. Shade it better than what I am. I'm going to check your work, how you like that. Yes, I will. When you bring your books back, I always want to see every one of your books. When you're finished with the test and you hand in the test, you hand in your book, and I will check it. That's the way I can hold you accountable. All right, I got one more, and oh, you can't see it. There we go. 3.27. And my first answers, that one was a little tough. I had to work on that one. That one was harder for me. I chose it because I had y and x. But when I got to figuring the top part, I sweated on that one. And let me show you, I come up negative 4 and 4, 1 and negative 1, 2, and then I had negative 3.5. Now, not often do you come up that way, but that was the simplest way for me to get my third one. I could have just stopped with these two, but I went 3.5 or 3.5 to make it equal, right? And so when I grafted it, this is what I did. I used a black one, and I went negative 1 and 4. So I come over negative 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's my first dot. Then I went 1, negative 1. So I went 1, negative 1. That's there. And then I went 2, negative 3.5. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.5. And I did that. I made my dotted line, and I shaded on this side. Okay. For the next one, that's my fun one again. I always love those. I went 0, 0. And then I went 3 and 3. So that's not real hard. You just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You could have went 2 and 2. And then for this other one, I went negative 4, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. Again, I shaded this part here. And so really, the dark part should have been right here and right here. So from here to here, this is the black part right here. And that's really what those two inequalities both cover. Yeah, skip 3 on that part. And you can even skip the 2 that I did. That doesn't matter to me. Well, yeah, I mean, it's up to you. And be ready for 4, self-test 3 tomorrow. Thanks.